All right, I think we're live. Let me get a sip of my water, get my radio voice going. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Business. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of training topics as people trickle in. Made some adjustments with my training. Have talked about some stuff with my goals, what I'm doing with all of it, and hopefully a lot of that can be topics of conversation. We can talk training and all this stuff. A lot of you've seen the podcast I've done recently with people. And I think one of the things that threw people off, for some reason, when I said I was working on other stuff, people thought that my big three goals were gone, and that's not the case. So I want to be clear on that. I am still chasing the 405 bench. I'm still chasing all those things. I'm just working on being more well-rounded again. I want to work on conditioning more. I need to work on my mobility, all of these different things. And I don't think that they conflict with the ability to be strong. And that's something that we need to always be clear on. That's not a conflict. And I mean, my bro Alex Fiat is the perfect example. Guy does ultra marathons and still deadlifts 700 pounds. In other words, you can do conditioning and still be strong and jacked. Darko, I'm not going to really discuss that stuff in detail. Honestly, I feel like just the direction the internet's going, I'm probably not going to discuss those topics much at all. Let's see. Other than I probably won't stand around claiming natty. There's a difference. Someone asks, I'll be like, yeah, no TRT. But I don't mean YouTube TRT when I say that. That doesn't mean a gram of testosterone. So maybe we should differentiate between those terms, TRT versus YouTube TRT. All right. I'm going to say TRT caps at 200 milligrams a week. You don't get to claim TRT if you're past 200 milligrams. I think that's YouTube TRT would be up to a gram, and Instagram TRT would be 2 grams. Right? All right. I've got sore shoulders from BJJ training. Do you think pullovers could help? They might. But I mean, sore shoulders is a very, very broad term, right? Hey, Jason, hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, bro. Right? Hey, Jason, what's my weak point if I'm 40 pounds stronger on conventional than sumo? You don't have a weak point. You just have a strong back, right? Well, Darko, that's the thing. It's one thing to say no repercussions, but there are repercussions, aren't there? To business, to reputation, to everything else, just the way the industry is laid out. I mean, a perfect example, no matter how much those guys know, because they talk so heavily about gear, how many people are going to step up and say they wouldn't be able to do anything to help a drug-free lifter? Without people realizing a lot of coaches work with both types of people. But that is kind of this strange bias that people have. Hey, Jason, you look like your legs are much bigger than Caleb Williams. Are they? Well, the thing to keep in mind with someone like Kaler, number one, genetics and leverages, muscle fiber distribution, but there's leverages and stuff. The guy is built. The guy's built to deadlift. And you need a context. Think about his strength levels. Okay, the guy is very, very genetically gifted. You can't really compare someone like that to other people. You really can't. You start those outliers really start skewing things. Nick, I would like to, but I am not going to do them until I'm absolutely sure I can do them in a healthy manner. Does that make sense? I would like to, but I'm not going to jump on that too quick. That is a long-term goal. I don't know who Vigorous Steve is, actually. So what do I think about him? I think that his first name is Vigorous and his last name is Steve, and that's a really strange legal name. And I guess based upon your post that he talks about gear. All right. Hey, Jason, what's your current total daily calorie count? About 4,000. It's a struggle to get it down, but I mean, here's the thing I always tell people. Why does one person's individual calorie intake matter? People always ask other people that. What are their calories? What are their macros? But is that really useful to you? Because yours are not going to be the same. Like if you could change two little minor things in your life and your maintenance calories could change by 500 or 1,000 in 6 weeks' time. So it's not really that relevant to people. I could just give you a random number. And for practical purposes, it wouldn't have any impact, whether I said 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000. But it's around 4,000. What should be a reason why my lower back is always hurting on either the good morning or stiff leg deadlifts? I don't know. Your back is probably weak. Your erectors could be weak. Your abs could be weak, right? My low back doesn't hurt from that stuff. So I'm going to assume you have a weak back or weak hamstrings. There's some weakness causing it. Maybe it could be your technique. When it comes to percentages for speed work, why are they lighter on your non-strength sport athletes? Because they're not as concerned with direct carryover to backs. I just want speed strength out of them. Coach, when is that there 400 bench? I don't have an exact number. I'd like to hit it this year, but it could be a little tight. How many sets of squats in total will you do per week? I haven't decided yet, Darko. So if I give you a number, it's a lie because I don't have a number picked. I'm going to just build it up over time and assess my fatigue. Any benefits to doing single joint exercises such as curls and tricep extensions in the 15 to 20 range? Yeah, nothing wrong with it. From your observation with your clients, how large of an impact does stress have on their performance in the gym? That's an enormous impact. It's one of the biggest factors. Darko, I want to be clear. I am actually a strength coach, not a nutrition coach. So honestly, about half of my clients don't even tell me what they eat. We discuss food when it becomes necessary for their goals. So in order to answer the question, the answer would be, I don't know, because half of my clients, about 50%, literally don't discuss nutrition at all. Some of them, we get very involved in it. I don't think there's any reason for people to change their calories based on that, just my opinion. I don't think there's a benefit to it. You can do it if you prefer it. What am I doing for cardio? Sled work as of this last week. I didn't do any cardio all summer. It's been too hot. But I'm like, now I want to get my conditioning back up. What is the benefit of a single leg movement versus using both at the same time? Depends on the movement. The biggest thing is going to be reduced axial loading, right? On a leg press, it could be less time spent loading 57,000 plates onto it. Coach, is it at all but guaranteed an athlete will peak out in their 20s and never PR from there? No, that's insane. Do you have any cooking tips for chicken? I like to cook it at a really high temperature in the oven so that you get it done quicker. That's my tip. I don't eat fish at all. Coach, I have a 185 overhead press, but only 225 bench. I have long arms, weak chest with dips. Darko, I feel like you ask way too many personal questions about all that stuff. I know you paying that little $3 a month, but man, don't troll. You know, it kind of makes me feel like you're one of my trolls. Are we interested in getting results? Or are you interested in about the specifics of all of my clients? And if you want to be on Team Blaha, put in an application now. Thoughts on push-pull legs, but having deadlift and press and stuff. Oh man, you're just making that too complicated for me. I don't program stuff that complex with splits like you're asking. Like, why? But since you're just making that up as you go, just pick whatever you want, man. Right? I mean, that's the problem with most splits. I mean, they're really just kind of a thing that people have, how do I put it? They've just made it up. It's just a way that people have chosen to decide to organize things. There's no actual rhyme or reason to most of it. The only reason I like upper lowers is that it can be easier on overall joint health throughout the week and just impact on joints. Hey, Jason, I hope all is well. My 2 months cut turned into 9 months. I'm transferring to eating on maintenance now. Can I join till the end of the year? Yeah, man, come on over. Paul, there's always room for you, dude. You left on good terms. Coach, are you still interested in getting leaner? Leaner's going to happen, I think, just as I work on conditioning, right? The conditioning itself probably make me just leaner over time. But the other thing about getting leaner, it's not even so much about outreach. It's just general health, being pound for pound strong, being athletic, right? I'm not worried about, like right now, just doing some dramatic cut, though. I don't think there's any reason for that. I've slowly gotten leaner. People who know me, who see me in person and stuff, shirtless and stuff, are like, yeah, you're leaner now than you were months ago. So, okay. So that's a positive sign. Brad, to say that I lifted a lot more when younger versus today, I don't know that that's really true. I mean, my best ever deadlift in my entire life is about 20 pounds heavier than I've hit on camera now. So, I mean, is that a lot? Like 655 in my 20s versus 635 in my late 40s. I don't know. Do we count that as a lot stronger? I don't think 20 pounds difference is that big of a deal. I mean, same with benching. I was cracking around, 405, 425 at best at a heavier body weight when I was in my 20s. You have to see me do 5 reps of 335. I've done 365 with a pause. I mean, I'm going to end up benching 405 again. So, Darko, I'm not going to always discuss people who are out. And I think you're trolling with that because I've already said that particular client will not be welcome back. So, that was my question. Do we just need to accept that we won't lift more as wage? No, I don't think that we need to accept that. Bowman play, you're gone. I have never coached Mark Stubing. I don't know why you would think that. And the fact that you're obsessed with him, and I'm going to say this very clearly, you're obsessed in wanting to make fun of someone who is handicapped, and that makes you a terrible person. Coach, what are your thoughts on it? I don't have thoughts on it. No one linked it to me. So as far as I know, it didn't happen. Not one person linked me anything about it. So as far as I know, didn't happen. So those are my thoughts. I don't think it actually happened, or you would have sent something to me. All right. Okay. Well, what is it that he supposedly said? You could link it on Facebook with a timestamp. With mobility being a new goal to work on, should we focus? Oh no, casing, that's a good question. I guess that still comes down to, are we chasing powerlifting? Do you have strong hamstrings? Do you have healthy knees? Okay, because that's an important topic. I tell you right now, if you have weak hamstrings, I've seen lots of guys go do ass to grass squats who don't work their posterior chain and only squatted and their knees hurt. Right? What are your thoughts on ED? I don't know what any of that means. Sorry, dude. Would you rather play guitar or bang a hottie, coach? Can't I do both at the same time? Menage a trois. You know, busting out with some AC/DC while you're hitting it from behind. You know. Yeah, Darko, he will not be coming back. Do you think Crip Max programs? I don't know anything about his programs, honestly. I vaguely remember him though. I think I had some interaction with that guy some time back. He didn't strike me as a bad guy. I mean, granted, you've got the Crip and everything in the name, but if I recall, he didn't strike me as like a bad dude. Really, I don't remember much else about him though. I don't recall anything negative about the guy. What are your opinions on main gaining? You're going to have to. Are you drug free, Paco? You're going to have to gain some weight. You're not going to recomp unless you're a novice. You're fairly new to training, or you're at a higher body fat. All right. Who is nattier, Michael Trent? Well, Michael Hearn is a well-documented natural bodybuilder and natural North American judo champion. So he is obviously the more nattier of the two. Hey, coach, I'm going into my first powerlifting meet in 5 weeks, weighing around 77 kgs. It's the first time. Better to just lift an 83 kilo and not worry about. Yeah, dude, it's your first meet. Just do the 83. Unless you were like a contender for some state records or something, right? Can a late novice make at least some progress on 6 sets per muscle group a week if he pushes those 6 sets hard, really hard? Why do some programs repeat the same exercises multiple times a week while others change exercises? Because that's the way the person chose to wrote the program. Yeah, Brad, I feel like Brad's exaggerating there a little bit. To increase forearm size or wrist extension exercises worthwhile doing or a waste of time? I don't know. I don't really do them, honestly. I don't think they're necessary. I think you can do a lot of other stuff without trying to do single joint movement specifically for your wrist. It's my opinion. Hey, Jason, on your novice 5x5, you specifically want people to use a straight bar for curls because you weren't a fan. I actually used the straight bar yesterday. So there's your answer. I used the straight bar yesterday. I change stuff up a little bit sometimes. It's not a big deal. They're smaller exercises. Coach, I'm losing gains if I do 5x8 versus 5x10 for reps. Okay, Singh, I want you to think about that for yourself. I want you to step back because you're doing 2 reps difference on the same number of sets and the same level of fatigue with each one. Are you losing muscle? What do you think? Hey, coach, do you train any bodybuilders? Not currently. Hey, coach, thanks for the advice on my squat. The pauses have helped a ton with mobility. Hope to be seeing improvements in mobility as well. Awesome. Are you someone who messaged me about it? Because a few different people have recently, and we discussed some of that. And you are most welcome. Coach, any advice on getting airline deals? You just look for the deals, man. Buy tickets ahead of time. Use the little search engines like Expedia and all that stuff, right? They're almost always cheaper than buying directly from the airline. Howdy, sir. Is there a point in which forward knee travel in the squat to keep a more upright position is too much? I'm not sure if I'm less upright because of bad knee mobility. Man, Alex, that's a point of major contention. It depends on what type of squat you're doing, honestly. I'm going to say if you are doing a full squat, it probably is not unless it's making, the weight roll off of your heel completely. Now, if you're trying to do a power squat, I think the answer is definitely yes. Norton, I have no idea. Ever tried BJJ? Nope. I know tons of people who do BJJ. I've never done it. I only messed with really basic martial arts when I was younger. Any experience coaching a woman transitioning into pregnancy? Yes, but I'm not going to go into a lot of details on that. All right. Thoughts on reverse Nordic curls and is accessory for quads? I don't have thoughts on that at all. And Norton, they've been doing that forever. What are you talking about? All right. Let's. Yeah, Norton. There's been no change. I don't think it's been more lately than it has been a year ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. I haven't seen any difference, to be honest. It's just, it's just what it is. All right, let's talk some training, guys. Who is your favorite guitarist? I'm a big fan of Stevie Ray Vaughan, but I'm a big ZZ Top fan. So I'm going to have to go with Gibbons. Now, you could ask me who I think the best guitarist in the world is versus who's my favorite, because those are two different questions, aren't they? Who's the most technically skilled? Right? But then we come down to the question of what's music about? Is music about being the most technically skilled, or is it about eliciting emotion? Right? Right? So that's the real question, and I'll give you a great example. I was chatting with one of my friends who were doing some music stuff about the other day. We were hanging out, and I brought up the topic of that, and I said, look, I think as far as guitarists I've heard in my life, and I'm going to say his name, I'm going to butcher it, that Swedish guy, Yngwie Malmsteen, right? In terms of absolute skill on the guitar, I don't know that anyone is better. There are some guys as good. I've never heard anyone better, right? But does he draw a huge crowd? Has he moved millions of people? Right? He hasn't. Then you take someone like Kurt Cobain, could play 4 chords. And yet from my generation, he was massively influential, right? Had an enormous impact with his performances. Like the MTV Unplugged, I heard it live that night. It's one of the best performances I think I've ever heard in my life. He did the song Where'd You Sleep Last Night? Right. So it's the question of skill versus the ability to convey emotion with your music. Norton, no, I haven't. I haven't started running. I'm going to do sled work until I'm in better shape, and then I'll start implementing jogging in like intervals. Thoughts on Jeff Nippert saying around 80% of gains can be made in 5 to 9 sets. If they're really, really hard sets, I don't know if it's exactly 80%, but I would say at least over half, definitely over half of your gains. If you are not making any gains at all doing, say, 6 sets per muscle a week, you're making 0 gains, you're either not training hard enough, your fatigue management, something is wrong. No, I don't think I need to hire a running coach just to jog. I used to be a jogger. I'm not going to be a serious runner. I mean, and I've got people I can work with. All right. How important is it for the ladies to have a massive big dump truck? I've read it. I don't know that it's very important. It can be a perk. Will you film your running sessions? Probably not for a while. Maybe, maybe not. Right. I almost feel like just due to privacy stuff and the stuff I run into that I may not. Just because I've been doing it outside, people's license plates and street signs. And if I'm continuing to make, oh, I got deleted. My girlfriend benches around 180 drug free at 140 body weight. That's good. If she could be your client, would you bring her to 225? Potentially, but that's going to take a lot of work. She's got a lot of potential though. Doing 180 as a drug-free 140-pound woman is actually really good. That's fantastic. Dynamo, that's too long of a story. Yeah, quit asking stuff like that. Yeah, no power lifter, maybe. I can't guarantee that. But is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. It's a question of how long, though, is really the question. Yeah. But I mean, she's got a lot of potential putting up numbers like that already. What's your favorite running shoe? I don't have a favorite running shoes, Norton. I haven't run in over 20 years. I'm going to have to dig into this. Have you had a woman pick up on you? No, never at a powerlifting meet. If I make continual strength progress on the big 3 at the same body weight as an intermediate, should I continue to milk, or is it worth it to be at a calorie surplus too? I don't know. That's kind of a nuanced question. I don't know enough about what's going on with your stuff. Stephen, over time, yeah, I mean, again, I'm not there yet. So for me, I can't answer that question when I'm not in that spot yet. Norton, obviously they do. Norton, I already know that you don't lift. If you even need to ask that question. All right. She's that strong as a vegan. Wow. I consider making an exception in that case. Maybe I'd have to think on it. Coach, how do I know when to raise coaching prices? Brad, I think you're full of shit. What's your current stance on Mike Yurtill's work content on hypertrophy training? Obviously, some of it's good. I think that he overcomplicates programming in a way to sell stuff. I don't think periodization is necessary. I don't think that you need to resensitize to volume. There's no evidence for any of that. And we have plenty of anecdotal evidence showing that it clearly isn't necessary to make phenomenal progress. That's my only issue with some of it. Does that make sense? I don't think any of that is relevant or necessary, and I think it's just made up. It's part of his marketing. But obviously, he's got a lot of stuff. If I don't want to risk overshooting volume, it would be better to play it safe and keep in the 6 a set. That's on the low end. That's not playing it safe, Marco. Playing it safe would be, like 10 to 12. Norton, I'm not going to go into specifics of how I've had to handle those situations. Do you know? I don't know what Paul Carter's doing these days, so I couldn't tell you. Jason, the podcast with Jamie Lewis have been great. Chill vibes, brother. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone we're getting in there is chill. There's other people we're going to be working into those rotations. It's not just those guys. So we're batting around different ideas, and different people are possibly going to be coming in through different extended circles of friends. But yeah, no, they've been fun. What does my max squat need to be to get a girlfriend? I'm going to say at least 500. Yep. All right. Every guy with a girlfriend out there squats at least 500. Do people even do phone numbers like that these days? That's not really how most people do. They shoot you their social media. Yeah. Brad, I think you're a troll just in general. Let's just get rid of you. Paul Carter promotes low volume, 5 to 10 sets. Training to failure says, I don't know about all that. I've never actually cheated on anyone here. I have always run from those situations and gotten out of there. Yeah, women can usually handle slightly more training volume than men. Has the shoulder mobility work been helping? A little bit, yeah. Casing, it's been helping. I mean, I am, how do I put this? I've made about 10 to 15% of the progress I would like to make, maybe 20, but it has helped some. I have a long way to go, though, to really have my shoulder health and mobility where I want it, to be ideal. Have you ever tried high reps programs like, for example, yes. You've never seen me do 20 reps sets of squats on camera and stuff? I've done 3 sets of 20 with 300 pounds after my heavy squats on camera before. What are your thoughts on knee sleeves? I think knee sleeves are cheating. They're allowed in some raw federations, but they're an external device. They're a tool you use to lift more weight. Are you still a big fan of dummy work with box squats? Yeah, I like it. A lot of my clients still do. I'm not doing that these days, but a lot of my lifters do. All right. Jason, have you ever herniated a disc? Yes, when I was a teenager. Are you injured currently? No. You're watching me do ass to grass pause squats with over 400 pounds. Watching me do rep work with 315 on the bench. Watching me do deficit deadlifts, beltless with 500 pounds right now, this week, on camera. So why would you think I'm injured? If I was injured, would I be able to do those things you watched me do this week on camera? I mean, I could maybe have an injured pinky finger or something. I guess. But you see me play the guitar with my left hand, so we know it's not on my left hand. All right. All right. What else do we have? Get a sip of my water, see if we can get any good questions, good topics. Man. I'm trying to think if I've tried Cialis. No, I don't think I've tried Cialis. I've been given some as gifts and things that I've never used, like stuff away. I haven't actually tried Cialis. I've tried Viagra and I've tried Levitra. Levitra was a little bit much, really. I mean, unless you've got like 2 girls over for the night, it's just I wouldn't recommend it. Just randomly. Thank you. I guess my adults are popping. You're weird. Why are you asking all about my sex life? That's kind of weird, dude. That's kind of weird. That's strange. All right. We're at 36 minutes and people are only asking me about if I've herniated disc, have injuries, if I use condoms or not. So this one's getting slow here. Probably going to end it unless we get something decent. Looking back at your 505, you said shrugs and triceps could be cut from the program. No, it's because there's just too much work there, Max. There's just too much work. We'll tell your wife that I said thank you. Yeah, no, I don't think that you need to add anything in place of those, honestly. Did you hit pause squats both lower knees? Yes, I did. I do have a bald, shiny head. Look at that. It's beautiful too, Alec. I've got really good cranium aesthetics, I think. Rocking that bald. What do you guys think, man? How would you guys rate it? How would you rate my cranium shape? I already have a job. I have a company. But let's go ahead and get rid of you. I thought you was complimenting my bald head and you had to get like that. Did you do pause? Yeah, I did. I did them before rep work. Although the other day I did some rep work on the front squats, and then I did like a 20-second pause squat after. What do you think of Tom Gully's strength program? I think that the guy who wrote his first name is Tom and his last name is Gully, and it's some sort of strength program. Now, I would probably have more thoughts on it if I knew who Tom Gully was. I wish I could show off my Def Leppard rope belt. You can't seem kind of obsessed with that. What do you think of chocolate for breakfast after getting sick? Just got sick. I mean, if you're coming back from a virus and you've lost weight and you just need to get some calories in or stomach illness or something, if it gives you the calories that you need, then by all means, do what you have to do. Do what you have to do, bro. You just got to make it happen sometimes. Sometimes you just have to eat whatever it takes at that point. I've had clients come back from like a stomach virus and stuff, and I'm like, you just get salts in, you get pizza, whatever you have to do. Get calories, get salts, get fluids in. I'm not a fan of Mentor stuff. I've discussed in detail. I've got videos discussing that in detail. You can do a channel search for it. If I haven't put one out in the last month, I have one coming up in the rotation. How much could a 500-pound deadlifter get from a deadlift bar? I don't know about a 500. Like you're pulling 500 with a stiff bar, and it depends on how strong your quads are. You'll probably get a few pounds out of the deadlift bar on a conventional. I think you get more out of sumo on it. Have you ever done keto? Yes. I don't. Historically, I've tried to light keto. I don't get the best results on it, and I don't think it's the healthiest thing you could do. I don't really know anything about Michael Hooper. Thoughts on making love after heavy squats and deadlifts? It's okay. Just don't let yourself cramp up. No, I've never done psychedelics. I think NoFap is silly. Do you know how to dance? All right. Let's entertain that question for a minute. You're asking me, do I know how to dance or am I willing to dance? I mean, let's keep in mind, I've gotten up and sang karaoke. Oh, no, I'm a terrible dancer. But am I willing to dance? There's a difference. When benching without wrist wraps, have you ever had to deal with the bar wanting to tip? Yeah, it does try to. You just have to squeeze it crazy hard. I'm benching without wrist wraps this week. I'm working on it for this last week. You just have to squeeze the bar really hard. Yeah, I've always kind of been a tool fan. I like tool. Some bloke at my gym was impressed with my 5-plate deadlift on the bouncy rubber floor and said if I did it on a platform, I'd lift another plate. I don't know about that. No, that's not how it works. Do you have any bro science related to nutrition you follow? I think we all do. Not everything that we do with nutrition are we going to be perfectly studied, you know. Marco, I'm just trying to train raw and I'm trying to toughen my wrists and grip and everything up. Again, things that force me to work harder on the bench, force me to squeeze the bar harder. So I'm also benching pretty much flat back now, which I don't think people caught. They didn't realize, oh, you only got 3 reps a day. You only got 5 the time before. But it's like I'm benching flat back. I'm taking my grip wider, and I'm not using wrist straps or anything. I'm trying to make it more difficult just for purposes of building muscle and things. All right. Well, I think this is enough for this one. I'm a little bored today. All right, I'm a little bored today. So I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. I'm not a fan of the unstable bars. I'm not a fan of the unstable stuff. All right, guys, but I'm going to wind this down. I hope it's been informative. I love all of you guys and gals, and I will talk to you next time.